A city under siege. The Fiefs of Gondor have come out to play. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back once again to another online battle for Rise of Mordor. We are diving right back in with a really awesome mod that basically goes ahead and separates the forces of Gondor into their respective fiefs. We have a handful today which we'll look through. We have first off the Fiefs, I think is how you pronounce that. I don't know, it sounds very Welsh and my pronunciation is awful, and they're going to be taking up the forces over on this southern side of the fortress. Then over on the other part of the settlement we do have the Grey Company, which is another subject of the Gondorians, and they'll be rolling up as well. If you want to check out this mod, I'll leave a link down below in the description for you guys so that you can play it for yourselves if you want to spice up the Gondor roster with new units and kind of play these factions separately, because I believe there's around about 8 different Gondorian I guess vassal subjects that you can play from, and it's a really fun mod. I highly recommend that you check it out. We're also using the sub mod along with a cool building and other stuff like that. I believe this is actually a custom map as well, which is pretty goddamn cool. So fighting against these Gondorians are the Easterlings. They're going to be having a handful of these nomadic archers, supported by some of the amazing new footmen. I just love this infantry style and the unit for the Easterlings. They look absolutely amazing, they really do. And then we have a handful of other kind of more traditional Easterlings garrisoning the city. If you want to take a moment and take a look at some of the new cool units in the mod, though, we will do so. So for the Grey Company, we have the Grey Company Knights right here. Again, you can kind of take a better look at them like so. They also have some cavalry back here as well, which again, you can take a look at it. And I think this is just a great mod because it does really spice up the scale of these factions, adds in a ton more replayability, as there is so many. So there's some cavalry. I believe we also have some elite spearmen and other infantry who are going to be scattered throughout this. You've got some more knights right up there, along with some more archers over on this other side. Some good rangers who are ready to push in. They've obviously set up a pretty aggressive attack coming in from multiple sides of artillery over on this position, alongside their allies coming in from this one. And then if we take a look at the Fiefs infantry, we have the pikemen, which are going to be very aggressive. We also have some archers back here. We've got a trebuchet, some javelins. I believe these guys are probably going to be the skirmishers. Yeah, very lightly armored, but obviously they're going to be super cheap because you don't have to pay for much equipment. And then we also have their infantry as well, the knights, which again do look pretty cool. I definitely do dig their look and their style. Also, that music just cut out really randomly. But these guys do look great as they march forward with the siege tower in the distance. So let's just go into normal speed and get this battle started. I'm definitely going to be interested to see how this map does play with all the attacking sides coming in. But it does seem like the attackers have very much looked to try and spread the defense as best as they can. As this is a 2v1, the Eastlings, obviously do have the ability to recruit more men because they will be able to get 40 men. However, they're definitely going to be stretched as the Gondorians come in from multiple sides. That's probably going to eventually push them back to the city centre to where they can't really hold much more. Also, it does seem like the music has cut off, so let me just go ahead and reset that really quickly. Hopefully that will sort itself out and we'll get some music playing momentarily. And if not, I can always just place in my own music over the top. Seems like the first ladder is now going down, and the spearmen from the Grey Company are going to be the first men onto the walls, as the nomadic archers do decide to start fleeing as fast as they can, trying to get down below this, so they do get supported by infantry. You can see now the fighting is now commencing. The men on the walls finding it a little bit difficult to get around here, but they will soon be able to pounce on this unit. And I think the way they've set up, they're trying their best to set it up so that their archers can shoot up on the wall. They're kind of giving up this tower right here, and that's mainly so that they can either come down and get enveloped, or if they get stuck up here, they can just get shot at. So I think that's a pretty solid strategy. However, that does obviously leave them a little bit vulnerable because, it basically means that the Grey Company can reinforce this section pretty easily by just, funneling men forward. They can get their archers a little bit further up and really put the pressure on the defenses. Oh, we also have a breach going down as well, and that's going to make life a lot easier for the attackers. They can quite quickly get a lot of infantry and cavalry into the city. I wouldn't be surprised if we suddenly saw the cavalry marching forward. There is a lot of segregated archers who are just pretty vulnerable, and it will basically cut off any retreat that they want to do. Unfortunately, though, we are going to be getting a rout at the gate. The archer fire proving too much, and it seems like there was a lot of missiles being focused down on this area. Now the music's jumping back in with the action. Let's just turn that down a tad right there. Yeah, you can see the archers have used up a lot of ammunition, and they've done a lot of damage to these soldiers, but the gate does still stand, and that's pretty goddamn important for the attackers, especially with the amount of infantry they're bringing around here as well. We're now seeing the men on the walls fighting pretty heavily, and probably going to be seeing that tower go down. That tower does go down, probably killing a lot of the attackers under that tower, which again is just so stupid, but it's the way it is in this. And goddamn, I hate the Attila lighting, man. It's just so bad. Look at it. I'll try and do some stuff in post to make things a little bit brighter, but yeah, if anyone knows of a decent fix that sorts out the Attila lighting, please do let me know in the comments, as I will get that 100%. I've used Aztec, but sometimes Aztec's graphics mod can be a little bit of an issue. We are now seeing the Pinith Glyn Marines being thrown forward and just overrunning this defenses, and that's kind of forcing the defenders back on this southern side of the settlement. They're really obviously moving in and just trying to fall back now, realizing that they just don't have the manpower to really withstand this army. There's a lot of pressure. This is kind of more where their defense is being held. And you can see the infantry really trying to push up here, engaging these elite Easterlings on the walls. But it even seems like the Eastlings are trying to fall back a little bit. Not want to overstay their welcome here. We can see them units fighting bravely, but obviously, as you can see, they are being super vulnerable right now. These archers obviously have a perfect shot off at the side of their ranks. I don't think this unit is actually shooting, but yeah, the other units that are in support obviously do have a very nice shot, and we can take a nice little look at them. It's a pretty long range shot, but still finding their marks, and obviously because they're shooting into their backs and their side, they don't have to worry about that shield defense the unit does carry, which greatly reduces their missile, you know, their ability to repel missiles. And these archers are just firing relentlessly, taking off a handful of these knights, and that's going to be a huge help to the defenses. And we can also see this unit who did come off the walls is now getting actually surrounded. And this is exactly what we said might happen. You know, it gives them the ability to push forward their front line, but it also leaves them very, very vulnerable to a attack like this, where the defenders can just, you know, surround them, use 2 units, envelop them, and really take down the unit a lot more effectively. And you can see all this movement is going to be, you know, causing casualties. So right now the defenders are doing a great job, but it's going to be a real issue when the other Fiefs of Gondor do finally break through this. Oh, you can see a nice little cavalry charge coming in. No, the Bane of the Steppes are just going to simply fall back, not wanting to charge that shield wall, which obviously I respect. And there is still also a little bit of a melee on the walls as well, as the arrows come flying in as well. But a lot of these arrows aren't really going to be doing too much damage, so it's probably like a nice little way to exchange some ammunition here. I'm sure the defenders are more than happy to absorb some shots, even if it's just 3 or 4 volleys. Oh, and it looks like the wall is going to be going down soon. As it crumbles down, that's going to be pretty brutal. One more volley, and that's going to clear out the majority of this unit, who has nowhere to basically go right now. It's stuck on this wall. I'm excited to see where the last trebuchet shot is going to come in, and they have plenty more ammunition. So yeah, this wall is definitely going down, and that's going to be huge. That's going to open up another breach right there alongside the other one. And even just that, even just the artillery shot destroying the defenses is going to mean a lot more of these arrows actually do find their marks. So this is a really nice strategy I've really never thought about employing in my battles. And there you go, kaboom, killing the majority of these soldiers. Now they're just basically stuck up here. The rest of these guys will probably die, and they'll just basically glitch out, because there's no way for them to escape here. And there you go, they're routed. So this unit is dead now. But yeah, that's an interesting strategy, destroying the wall just enough so that you can shoot at it a bit more effectively. That's actually not a bad strategy. And that's going to free up a lot more of these units who can now make their way down onto the ground level of the settlement and really start to push into the city and start attacking. We are getting a nice rear charge though here against the warriors, who did push up a little bit more. The cavalry is going to come into them as they pull through some of the infantry, but the foot soldiers are going to continue to move forward, looking to pursue this cavalry and push into the Eastling front line and start getting their swords bloodied. I mean, right now, the balance power is not looking good for the defenders. However, numbers-wise, they're not doing too bad whatsoever. And maybe these defenders can come back. The Eastlings' strength in their numbers, or sorry, in their quality, might prove, you know, pretty hardy. We've also got a very nice position here from the bowman. Again, such a beautiful looking bow unit right here. You guys can get a better look of them. These guys are going to be firing down in a pretty solid position, killing a large amount of these archers. It's kind of strange that they are committing the Grey Company over here. I'm not exactly what they're trying to focus down him. Oh, they're probably trying to look to kill this unit of halberds at the gate, because the gate has gone down, so they can shoot directly through. And probably clearing out these halberds is going to be their #1 priority, because, you know, these will basically just act as an iron, you know, stalwart defense that will not be able to be breached unless they get round the side of it, which they definitely could do. However, the Eastlings are doing a pretty nice job of just filtering more and more men into the city. However, a fire has broken out, and that might be racking up some decent damage onto the settlement. You know, it does start to rack up some dangerous stuff, but this is going to be really where the, you know, the attack is, you know, crucial for the attackers, because there's not really a whole ton here. Obviously, they have the bridges, which they can defend a bit more effectively, but, you know, there's a lot of infantry over here, a lot of archers who can make their way inside the city. And once the men do get inside the city, they're going to be very, very effective at clearing out the majority of what the enemy do have to throw at them. They can clear these streets, they can put pressure on the archers, get their archers inside the city. You know, there is, what, 6 units of archers out here? That's pretty scary, especially if these bowmen can get in. They can definitely shoot across the riverbed and do an insane amount of damage. For sure. You know, you can see the bowmen have now come inside. They are still shooting up there onto the walls, though, which I think is a little bit of a mistake. They should definitely be focusing down these halberdiers, as they do so much damage. And it seems like the attack has been repelled pretty decently over in this side of things. You know, there's not much red up on the walls whatsoever. They really needed maybe like a breach, could have been really useful. But their artillery is over on this side, and I'm not really sure what they're focusing down. Obviously, killing this tower was very nice, but I'm not sure if they can actually make a breach. I don't think they can. And now the artillery is simply just coming in, setting a blaze to the defenders. But unfortunately, only killing a handful of these halberds. And again, yeah, I'm still wondering why their missile shots aren't coming in on this unit of halberds. Maybe they just can't target them for some reason, so they're just going to focus down these bowmen. Which, again, is not a bad choice, but obviously not going to be trading very well. These bowmen must have a couple hundred kills already. Only 75. Wow, that is surprising. They are taking casualties, but that is taking up a lot of ammunition. But they don't really need to worry about that, just due to the fact that they have so many archers out here on this side. That's pretty devastating. Also, look how well this unit of warriors from the Eastlings is performing. They've only lost 7 men. And they're, what, up to 80 kills? That's not a bad KDA. That's basically a 10 KDA right there. That is pretty goddamn insane. Maybe it'd be a good idea to fall them back and let these javelins do their work, because it just does not seem like they are breaking through this unit of swords one bit. It really, really doesn't. Again, this position has now been reinforced, which would definitely be helpful. And it doesn't seem like there are that many archers left. There's still a handful of volleys that can come in. You know, that's going to be doing some great damage once again. But there's not a ton, you know. They are definitely running out of ammo, which is when the attackers are probably going to really start to turn the pressure on, when they don't really have a lot of missiles to trade. It's just whether or not the attackers are going to have enough missiles to really commit to this. And you go, some more bowmen are breaking. However, we do have some axe warriors being brought in. These guys are super scary. Absolutely amazing looking unit. And they can do some serious, serious damage. There's also a lot of cavalry over here. Yeah, I just really think they needed to make a breach here. A breach in the center of this would have been absolutely insane. They could have definitely put so much pressure on. Also, this entire time, both these towers are still shooting, which again is racking up some pretty gnarly kills. So yeah, we're going to have to see. As I said, this is going to be the main focus point of the battle. We are now finally seeing some archers being brought up, which I think is pretty goddamn important. They definitely need to try and break this, because this unit of warriors is just trading so goddamn well with the swords. I don't know if it's just the swords aren't that effective against heavy armor or what, but yeah, it just seems like these I mean, they are just foot soldiers, right, at the end of the day, but even still, I thought they would, you know, the amount of pressure they have on would do plenty of damage. It might not even be a bad idea to bring up these pikemen and just try and push them through, because the pikemen will clear out this section. And that's the problem that you're going to have. Attacking from this side of the settlement That's the issue you're going to have. It's just there's just basically 2 choke points you can't do too much about, and until you fully clear out the walls, which they still haven't done right, you know, they're still fighting over on this side. You know, until that wall does go down, it's going to be a hard task to really break through. It does look great though. I just love the look of these warriors. The assets, the 3D models they put in for this is just really high quality work. And they look absolutely amazing. So hopefully we get more of that in the future updates for Rise of Mordor. I imagine for the most part we probably won't be getting a big Rise of Mordor update for a while, as a lot of people, a lot of the modders probably go into their crunch time of year, you know, finals, and a lot of dissertations and coursework and stuff like that has to be, you know, that's kind of when this time of year takes it. So it's probably going to be a little while until we do receive another big update, but hopefully, you know, then summer is right around the corner, and hopefully the modders will get a lot more time to work on the mod, and we'll get even more updates, because, yeah, I really love the previous Rise of Mordor update, and hopefully they're only going to get bigger and better. And right now you can see the fighting still going on. Yes, I'm really impressed with how well this unit of Locarim warriors did do. Like, these units are really standing out in the roster. Oh, we're seeing a little bit of cavalry moving around. It seems like it's fleeing from the Bane of the Steppe Horse, which are now pursuing them in their wedge formation, but I'm just going to fall back. Not wanting to overcommit to this fight, and I imagine the cavalry from Gondor don't want to get stuck in either because of these fort towers as well. But it seems like they did a pretty good job. The Grey Company mounted knights are just going to move back and probably set their way up to push back into the settlement, and then, yeah, really get stuck in right there. Again, I just had to check that my reshader wasn't on, because this lighting is just painful. It really is. It's just so dark. There must be a mod out there. I'll do some more research. I've tried some mods, but just no mods can really get Attila lighting amazing for some reason. It just sucks. Yeah, and as you can see, they finally did manage to clear out this unit on the walls. However, they don't really have a lot of ammunition left. The archers are still focusing down this unit of Nordic bowmen, as the artillery rounds come in once again and miss more. These halberds are down to 100 men, which is pretty decent, but I just think all the fire should be on these guys if they can help it, and it just doesn't seem like they can get a line of sight or whatever, because that would open up a nice passageway through the settlement to really dive in. Finally, we are getting some javelins being thrown forward, because, yeah, again, this unit has lost, what, you know, just like 31 men, and they've killed, what, 100 and something? Almost 200. That is insane. These javelins are moving up, I think, to try and focus them down, because they really need to kill this unit and clear it out, because I just can't believe how well it's done. That's insane. I mean, the stats, these guys can't be that bad. Some of the knights are 26. Yeah, I mean, they're outclassed, but there's 3 units here. You think 3 units would grind them down slowly but surely. And it's very important that they clear this unit out, and that's what they should be using these javelins for, because clearly they don't have the quality to really break through. I mean, they have all these archers that they're just holding in reserve, and the archers in reserve will be a massive help to them. You know, once the battle does progress a little bit. Also, something that would be pretty insane actually is if they did clear out these halberds, which I think are now being focused down on. No, archers are being thrown in. I don't really know what's going on here. I don't know why the archers are being committed to dying to burning oil, and they still got all their ammunition left as well, like half a volley. Seems a bit crazy here to throw in the rangers, but hey, they obviously have a plan for that. And they're still unable to break through on these walls, which is just so goddamn crazy. At this point, I think I'm just going to turn off the music as well. It seems like it's really messing around on this map, so we'll just turn it off and I'll add my own music in at this point. They've even managed to get a pretty nice surround as well. I wonder if these units are just, like, really outclassing. No, again, the knights are better, like, heavily better in melee damage. Melee defense is a little bit less than these, because these are obviously the Vari footmen are very good. They're like top tier and expensive, and then melee attack is pretty good as well on these spearmen, and obviously on the swords will be even better. So I'm surprised we are not seeing more deadly units, and it does seem like the cavalry have now made their way around. Oh, there's a huge cavalry charge out here, killing the artillery, being pinned down a little bit by the spearmen. The spearmen are going to be picking up a few horses as they do flee from the battle, but They are going to be killed, and yeah, I mean, that was probably a good trade, right? A handful of horses for this artillery piece, definitely worth it. And now we are also getting cavalry just running through these thin lines of sword infantry. The attackers are finding themselves with their pants down, as the defenders are just advancing out this cavalry and doing so much damage. Now these archers, again, are just so undefended. I feel like this player has not utilized his archers very well in this engagement. Obviously, it's very hard to do so in a settlement battle, but they're completely undefended right now, and this cavalry is just going to cut them down. There's going to be no stopping them. Charge coming in, going to pull out, and probably coming for another charge as well. Look at that. Yeah, killing so many of them. Oh my god, that was like a 40-man kill right there. And obviously these extra units can now come around the side and basically wipe out. Luckily they have used some of their ammunition, but even still, you know, these men could have been used elsewhere to really push up. And I definitely understand their pain, because they can't really get them inside the city because of there's just a lot of infantry on this wall, and it seems like they're going to fail to assault this wall once again, or at least over in the north. They're going to win over here, just with sheer weight of numbers. But yeah, they are definitely taking casualties, and that's yeah, that's really, really painful, honestly. Oh, we are getting a bit of a cavalry engagement out here, though, as the Grey Company General gets stuck in against the cavalry of the Easterlings. And unfortunately, you know, even if this unit is very, very skilled, which it does look like it is a pretty elite unit of horse, they're just going to find themselves completely surrounded. I think all this cavalry is coming around as well now. It's going to be a hard fight, actually. I don't know. Maybe they can pull it off. They do seem like they have some pretty good stats. Oh, did not mean to whip up the chat. I meant to whip up the, I whipped up the chat again because I'm an idiot. There we go, finally. 39, yeah, they've got pretty good stats. Actually a little bit outclassed, but they do have more numbers in their units, so that will obviously be a big, big help. And right now we are seeing more men pushed in. I mean, still this unit has not died. I can't believe it. Like, just pull back and shoot it at this point. I kind of, it's paining me a little bit. We do have the archers though being brought up, which is nice. These archers are going to be flying over the building and just whittling down the numbers from these warriors, which I think is a must at this point, because these soldiers have proven themselves this battle that they're basically extremely hard to kill in melee combat with what the Pinethkilin forces do have. And again, these archers aren't going to be killing a lot of them to start off with. However, the numbers are going to start racking up over time. So they just need to try and focus this unit down. And 2 units of missiles will kill it. Obviously, killing the towers is nice. They could also maybe get some archers up here and try and shoot them in the side. That wouldn't be a bad angle, honestly. And try and shoot them at the bridge. But yeah, the archer fire, this is definitely not a waste, because you've already seen how much damage this unit does do. And the archer fire will rack up. Obviously, you have javelins for a reason as well, which should obviously come in and do some pretty crazy damage. Because what they have, 2 units of javelins? Yeah, you can probably use that entire unit of javelins to clear these guys out. With some archer support, they'll go down pretty quickly. I'm still surprised that these guys haven't taken a casualty yet. Maybe I'm underestimating how strong this shield wall is. There you go, starting to lose men, and it will rack up, you know. Maybe this volley they lost 1, the next volley they'll lose like 2 or 3, and it will keep on racking up. So just consistent fire on this unit will eventually pay dividends. It's just going to take a lot of ammunition as they continue to volley in. But that missile block is definitely proving very, very deadly. And wow, with the reinforcements coming in right here, these units moving in, that's painful. Another unit. The Great Company are just having no luck on this side. I definitely think, yeah, obviously this is a brutal position to attack, because you're finding yourself very vulnerable to any missile fire over there. I think if they would have made a breach in the center of this settlement, that would have been a huge help to them, because they could have really pushed forward. They could have used their missiles over here to much more effectively you know, shoot them and stuff. That would have been pretty crazy. Also, I don't know what the hell is going on over here. Why the hell do you have all these archers chasing this one unit of cavalry you're obviously never going to catch? Don't really know what's happening there. Finally, the Great Company General does get slain, and he is going to be sent. And that's probably going to be it for the Great Company, if I'm honest. And now the Eastlings can really start to turn this one around, moving their entire force back to the river, as they're basically not vulnerable at all. I mean, all they've got left is these 2 units. And now, granted, you know, the Great Company will probably end up breaking through this at some point. But, you know, it's going to take up a lot of resources. You know, luckily for them, there's no missiles left basically on this side. There's like 1 unit of archers there and a couple here, but nothing too special. Or artillery coming in, and they're going to be finding their mark right here. Look at that. Oh, some direct hits there, killing a ton of archers. Wow. That was devastating. Yeah, I don't know. The attackers are doing a great job, and now these oh my god, this unit survived. That was insane. Like, I've never seen a unit in Attila do as well as that did. I don't really know why it did do so well. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over here. They're going to get slaughtered. Maybe this player at this point just, like, gave up and was just like, whatever. I've lost, so I'm just going to charge forth all legions. Yeah, the men at the walls not really doing much, it would seem. So as you can see, the battle is now going to come down to these assaults, and the archer fight is racking up some casualties, but again, just not enough over here. We can stick on triple speed just for a little bit, I guess, as the forces do move in. And yeah, maybe I was mistaken. That's a good lesson for me. Shooting this unit was obviously just not worth it whatsoever, but it's kind of like, how do you break through? Obviously, the javelins would have been a huge help right there. I'm not really sure if there's any other ways to approach this. You know, maybe obviously joining your assault over on this side could have been useful with a siege tower trying to smash down this gate, maybe could have been useful. But yeah, even with all this archer fire, I mean, they're starting to rack up a few casualties now, but even with all this archer fire, they've still only lost 10. Okay, here we go. Now they're starting to take some casualties. Yeah, them volleys were pretty deadly indeed. I think they're mainly taking casualties from the units that aren't shooting that arcing shot. Yeah, if you take a look at it, they don't really take many casualties from the initial shot. It's this volley coming in from that unit. Yeah, right there, but it's doing all the damage. Oh my god. This unit right here is doing so much damage. And this probably is because they're not arcing their shots up and over. They're just shooting directly at them. So maybe bringing a unit of archers on the bridge would have been useful. Obviously, that, like, getting a unit up on this side would have been very good to break them through. So I guess in the end, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but definitely could have done better. And right now, I imagine we're probably just going to proceed this battle with a lot of missile fire. And yeah, they see the casualties they're taking, and now we're going to be getting a charge on the bridge itself. But the defenders have a balance of power in their favor, and you never really want to see that until the very end. You know, the defenders, if they get the balance of power in their favor, like midway through the battle, which this is kind of like mid towards the end, it's never going to be great for them. And I think the defenders, unless something crazy happens, that there's a big break or the missile. But then again, there's a lot of missiles left for the attackers. So I think anything can really happen. Another artillery round. Oh my god, just direct hits. This artillery crew is extremely, extremely accurate. Their training has paid off because, yeah, there's some pretty deadly shots right there. Killing a handful of them. Only actually burning a couple, though, surprisingly. And now these bowmen are going to be brought up. Probably going to be focusing to kill this unit that's coming over. And these guys aren't in shield walls, so they will be under heavy fire. Even being shot in from the back there as well, as they try and reinforce this bridge. So, yeah, you know, the attackers definitely could still take this one. Actually, there's a lot of missile fire that could really spell the end, but I imagine we'll start seeing these men coming off over here. Yeah, they're literally abandoning this. They committed one more units up on the walls, and they're going to leave these guys with their iron skimmies to attack the warriors on the wall, and just say, like, they're basically going to win that, so we can commit the rest of our army elsewhere. But yeah, numbers might be a big issue, and the missiles might be a big issue. Also, the defenders have done a great job at just, like, focusing down the javelins, which are probably the deadliest thing in this arsenal. They've done a pretty decent job. And yeah, obviously all that cavalry has now been killed. We can now bring in their own horses back inside the city, which is nice. And maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to move around and, like, attack these choke points that are set up. Obviously, this infantry is going to have to be committed elsewhere at some point, which would not be a bad idea. And there you go, this unit has now been killed. And I love the way the attackers are pulling back a little bit, going to form up their shield wall. And just basically allow these guys to come onto them and just focus down all their missiles. Once again, that's, like, obviously been the most effective way of clearing this out. And once again, this unit from the beginning of that battle over there is still holding. I can't believe it. 300 kills on this unit is just insane as the artillery comes in once again, killing them javelins. And these javelins just have not been able to shoot all game. It's pretty frustrating to see. I definitely feel the attacking players playing. They get some shots off right there, but again, this unit's going to come down, break more of them, basically just run amok in these javelins, and I don't really know why there isn't more here to defend it. Yeah, it's pretty goddamn painful. The attackers do seem like they have so much, I mean, the defenders, sorry, seem like they have so much left in this battle. It's actually kind of crazy. I can definitely see the attackers still winning, but it's going to be a painful road to victory. They're going to have to obviously start committing this infantry further forward. I mean, we still do have 2 full units up on the walls, which really need to get brought down because they need to like constantly put the pressure up. And I never like seeing this where the attackers aren't using that momentum to push forward, because right now they've cleared the bridges, right? They've cleared both of these bridges. However, there's nothing to keep the momentum up. There's no infantry rushing through these bridges to set up beachheads so that archers can move forward. It seems like the, and like, what the hell is this unit doing right here? Again, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I really appreciate the replay, but sometimes, you know, you got to call out the mistakes that players can learn from them. You know, it's really important to keep up the momentum in these battles and put pressures on them, because right now the attackers just aren't throwing what they've got forward. And they're being punished for it. Their archers and their javelins, which are kind of some of the strongest tools in the game, just are not being used effectively whatsoever. You know, now they're being pushed up, but think how much stronger they would be. Unless these units have maybe glitched out, that could definitely be a thing. These units have just glitched out. You know, they basically need to be closing in their position and throwing themselves forward, because the defenders could quite easily, they have a lot of numbers, let them come into this kill zone and then just shoot them to pieces. And that's exactly what they're planning on doing, right? And there's not really a lot to stop them from doing this. They're going to engage the infantry with this amazing unit of axes, right? They're going to come flying down. I don't know why we're in slow-mo either. They're going to come flying down, just decimate this unit of swords. And then there's nothing to defend their missiles. The missiles come flying in, but again, the missiles are going to find themselves in a very, very poor position because there's infantry coming around the corner any moment. And we can see that infantry unit right here. Like, all of a sudden, these guys have to run away. So it's like, what's the point of bringing them up? I mean, maybe they're just going to get killed. And finally, we are now seeing the infantry move around. I imagine it was kind of difficult because I think this one's broken. I think this one's broken as well. So you can't actually move through here. But they really needed the momentum. And in fact, that's kind of the best advice I can give the defenders right there. Because if they could have pushed through here with swords, they could have done a lot more damage. And again, use their archers to shoot infantry whilst they're fighting here. Wow, what a nice position here by the defenders with these stones, basically nullifying the movement speed of this cavalry. Look how slow it is because of these rough stones are slowing down the cavalry so much. And again, they're going to be like, they're going to turn away and probably try and run away now. They're basically just dead. This was really unfortunate. And I probably would have made this mistake as well, because what they're going to do, charge swords? I think their plan was to try and destroy these barricades, but they're just so slow right now, and they're just being a bright target for the enemy archers. There you go. The cavalry is going to smash into the front lines, which does look cool. They actually do make some pretty good progress into that shield wall, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And yeah, I think the general is going to go down as well, because again, there's just nothing supporting them. All this infantry is just a little bit too slow. These guys need to be here a lot sooner, as now the axemen get around the side of these bowmen and just start cutting them down. I imagine these axemen are going to end up with a couple hundred kills for sure. They have nothing really to worry about. And even this infantry running across the bridge, it's just, you know, it's just a little bit too late, honestly. The axemen are going to meet them, though. As the lines do smash into one another once more. Yeah, they just really needed some more speed up there. But anyway, they are now committing the rest of their army, but I think it's just going to be in vain. They just don't really have the numbers to pull this one off now. Yeah, almost, well, it's a 700-man difference right now, which is pretty brutal. And we're also getting some cavalry moving around here as well to finish off these archers. Some nice artillery rounds actually unfortunately missing, which we haven't seen too much of in this one. The artillery's been very accurate for the defenders. But yeah, we're getting more infantry being brought down. Some more men moving in. This is nice, though, by the attackers, for sure. They're getting their archers into position. This was exactly what I was saying they should do. They can now shoot directly into the sides and back of these warriors, which will you know, cut them down pretty quickly and buy these archers maybe a little bit of extra time as more infantry just gets thrown in. But again, they should really be looking to try and break this barricade. This barricade is going to be doing some serious damage in the back. And these pikemen, all that pikemen, you just got a direct hit on it. Another one coming in as well. Yeah, this artillery crew is really good. Does it have any chevrons? Doesn't even have any chevrons. That's insane. Yeah, they really need to be doing something about this barricade for sure. Because letting these archers shoot your pikes in the side is just, yeah, it's a death sentence, basically. Oh, we have some cavalry moving in as well into the rear. And I think that's going to spell the end of the battle right there. Like, losing these archers was probably Probably the end. This lone warrior as well, actually getting on to this archer unit and stopping it from shooting, which is pretty bad. They can volley now though, which is nice. Obviously this unit's going to break. The soldiers on the gate are going to be holding for a little bit longer, but not ages. And even these pikemen are just being committed far too late, and these archers are shooting them into the rear as well. So I think that battle is going to basically be wrapped up at this point, with not much hope left for the attackers. So, again, massive thank you. I don't mean to sound like I'm being rude. I really appreciate the battles being sent into me, of course, and it's always fun to see battles, from all skill gaps and stuff like that. It just seems like the attackers kind of got taken a little bit off guard there, and they really need that momentum. That's one of the biggest advice I can give anyone in siege battles, is just don't leave units really far away from where you're looking to attack, because you want to be able to keep on rotating and pushing in soldiers and keeping up that momentum so the defenders are constantly up against it and they don't really have the time to think, and that way they'll make mistakes. That's really the best advice I can give. A very nice cavalry charge coming in here, which is probably going to seal the deal into the rear of the pikemen. And now the last of the Eastling cavalry can get these last couple of kills. Going to fall back now and probably come in for another rear charge, which should see the rest. The general has died as well, so I'm actually surprised that these soldiers are still around and kicking, honestly. I would have thought there would have been a mass rout already, but maybe army attrition just hasn't quite kicked in. Another artillery volley. This one actually missing as well. Wow. That's like 3 out of the past 20. Another cavalry charge coming in. However, the pikes have turned away, so the pikes are actively scaring off this cavalry bit by bit, but with only 50 seconds left, I don't think there is much more they can do, and the defenders will push forward. I think, honestly, the biggest problem with that attack was just they couldn't break through this gap, and this was just a killing zone at the end of the day, and it was very hard for the attackers to kind of recover after losing so many men in this assault position, so that was unfortunate for them. Maybe a breach would have helped somewhere along them lines, and maybe you couldn't destroy this wall once the siege towers were up. So yeah, massive thank you to the guys who sent that battle in. Obviously, go check out the Gondor mod as well. As you can see, they do come with some really cool factions which you can mess around with, so definitely check them out. But yeah, there's just so many kills on the Eastling side, a lot of infantry just doing insane, and where is that one unit, that one brave, 350 kills right there on the warriors. Insane stuff indeed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that battle. If you did, drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.